what are the common tools that you use to collect all this data?
Common tools. Sorry, you mean the common tools I'm using to analyzing the data?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I mean that question is more like a trap question.
Actually, three of them I have the same ranking.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Lead Stories, where we talk to our previous students and also our past alumni to find out how they're doing and also what they are doing in their careers and their life right now. And today we have a special guest, Seng Yung, who is working in an investment company with a main focus on online industry. So what they do is like general classified portal, real estate portals and car portals, which I think he can give you a better understanding in a bit. But what most importantly today we want to talk about what he has created. It's called a website called Fishcate, which I think he can tell you more about it in a bit. So let's get started. Yeah, over to you, Seng Yung. Introduce yourself and what do you do, where do you currently work, and also what brought you there.
Hi guys, I'm Seng Yung, and right now I have a master degree in economy and finance, and I'm currently working as a business analyst, as I've been mentioned by Alex, in an online industry. Actually, technically, it's an investment company. It's called FDB, and then this company actually invests a lot in property portals, cars, and general classified as well. Actually, coming here, it's quite interesting because I think the passions for me to know people and then to my passion to the data actually in fact brought me here. Okay.
That's wonderful. Good to know about that. So it's all the passion and also your interest. So when you actually got started, the feel of the passion of it, is it like a long while ago or is it just a recent one?
Long time ago, because since the university, I'm really very passionate to the data, statistic, numbers. So
I see.
When I start to work in the industry, I also like to deal with a lot of numbers. So
I see. So you're a number guy lah, basically. So during your uni days and also your working life, I believe people will go to you when they need help in numbers.
Consider yes, a number guy.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so share with our audiences, what do you do for fun? Tell us something that we don't know about you. What do you do for fun? Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. Actually, it can be divided into pre and after COVID. Okay. Before the COVID time, I think the same as others. I like watching movie, pursuing series. Somehow sign up for the physical courses, and then go for some 10 km fun run. But under this pandemics, I think everything changes. So instead of going to physical courses, right now I think what I can do is online courses. This is the safest one. And then fun run, because include about 100 or 200 gatherings. So right now I become a staircase runner in my condominium, running a staircase out. Lucky for me is the pandemic didn't kill the internet, so which means I still can watch a movie series or learning online courses. Well, hang out with friends or travel right now, I think it's replaced by what we're using right now. It's called Zoom call.
It's true. I think nearly everyone could able to relate this, and also I mean life changes and of course what we do too. So cool, good to know that you are actually having fun before COVID, and so right now a very different thing again. So anyways, let's get back to today's topic. What is your day look like as a business analyst right now in this investment company?
Yeah, before I go to explain in the details, I would say because let's say I would say the day life of the business analyst actually is very significantly compared to person, because it all depends on which company or industry or department you are joining. But overall, I would say the assistant or business analyst is to help the company stakeholder to solve their problem and challenge, and also try to bridge the gap between the business and IT, like helping people to solve whatever problem they are facing, even your colleague, your supervisor, or other head of departments. So day of super analyst, I say it can be vary every single day, is because you won't able to do the same thing every day. Let's say in day one, you won't believe that I will maybe whole day watching YouTube channel. But somebody maybe pass by, saw, this guy is watching a YouTube channel, and then after that in day two, I might be actually, instead of YouTube channel, I start to maybe browsing a website. Sometimes even a job street again, job store or any job website. And when the same guy pass by again, they will see, what's wrong with this guy? And then this after watching YouTube and browsing the website. And then in the day three, I might be like totally disappear from the desk.
Wow.
The same colleague who passed by, right, he was thinking that I'm watching YouTube channel for the day one, and then day two I'm looking for the job, and then day three I'm finally looking for interview. But in fact, as a business analyst, like when somebody have a problem or they have a challenge to face, or you try to help them to solve the problem, in the beginning of the day, what we really need to do is try to explore all the solutions, and then looking at all the resource, analyzing all the resources and what is the available option for the person. So that's why you have to browse the internet, looking for the YouTube channel for people sharing what they are actually doing. So once you can discover or exploring all kind of solution, right, you will start to do a planning. And then once you've done the planning, you are disappeared from your desk because you are looking for that person, and then tell him, this is what I am doing. This, and then eventually what you are doing is, in fact, you are deliver the guy the data-driven solutions. Because what we did is we try to collect data, exploring whatever information available, and then after that we gather together and then come up with this is our decision based on this kind of data we are collecting.
That sounds very exciting in some ways, and also you gave a good illustration of how exciting and thrilling it could be every day. The task is different, what you do daily is also different. But how about those routine side? Do you have like any routine to stick by besides all those fun stuff that you did mention earlier? Yeah.
Let's say what I do is like every day people might have requesting a challenge. This is something main task for business analysts, but also sometimes people would like your help like continuously over the time. So for this something repetitive task, we will actually try our best to automate this thing. So once everything move to the automations, actually you will have less intervention of the humans, and then maybe it's less human error on that. Every monthly or weekly, maybe we can generate a report to the management or tell them what is happening, or what is the monthly performance of the department or the partners. So in that case, this is mostly the routine. But from a business analyst, for this kind of routine, right, we will try to spend less time on that, but more time on the analyzing, and then try to help people solve the problem, so can make the business cycle move faster.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that is the eventual thing, to automate those boring tasks in some ways. And also the key is to get user feedbacks or any feedbacks, then solve their problems. Then once you're able to solve their problems, try to automate it next, right?
Because otherwise the people keep asking you for the help and then continues over the time. You are actually doing the same job over and over again. But your skill set can be improving, but from a long-term perspective, maybe you want to spend more time on other areas. So in that case, it's better you put in the automation task. So future, maybe you don't need to open the spreadsheet or everything, copy and paste everything. So it can be everything,
that's
just
true.
One button, everything generated for them.
Wow, I think all businesses would like that. In fact, I mean that's the direction towards it, to minimize all this. So anyways, since we're talking about reports, data, and all that, what kind of data do you do most in your current work? Can you share a little bit with our audiences?
Well, because I am in the online industry, so normally most our data is portal data. Like maybe for some of them, they were first time touch with this industry. So like in the online data, what we track is like how many times people come to the website. So people from Google Analytics point, maybe they will call it visit or sessions. And then beside the visits, we also will track about how many unique people come to the website, like totally based on the unique visitors. And also we will even track about what is the engagements to the website, like engagement, like people, how many times they click on the buttons, or they send the email, or even they share the website to people. So this is all kind of data commonly tracked in the online industry. But beside this kind of data, we also track some, because we need to analyze what is the overall picture rather than in the website. So we also include the macro data like GDP, population, the market size of your customer, and then recently I think COVID cases definitely have to include. And
right.
And we also include something like competitor statistic. Like we need to not just study ourselves and study to the market. You also need to actually compare yourself to the competitors over to see how far can you go. Overall, our data is like our portal data, economic data, and then competitor data. I think this is the three main data we are collecting for all categories.
I see. So those are the data that you guys collect. Is it just limited to quantitative, or do you have like qualitative too?
Most likely, I think quantitative. But for the qualitative data, because we can't measure, but normally those qualitative data perhaps is just some announcement or some people feedback or how people sharing. Maybe this one we did collect, but hard to actually do a measurement. But it's for our own reference.
I think the best we can do for the online industry is more like online sentiments, kind of feedback, what's the response to it and all that, right?
Because when
Okay.
you have qualitative data, right, I think in the sentiment, what you will do to ask them to rank like good, very good, or maybe worst, medium, that kind of thing, and then you will assign a
Yeah,
1 to 5, so that you will convert the qualitative data become a quantitative. That's also as a common practice in
that is true.
because
Yeah, those are the few types of data basically you collect in your work. What are the common tools that you use to collect all this data besides Google Analytics, which you mentioned earlier already? I think every website uses Google Analytics. So yeah, what is the expansion from there?
well the common tools. Sorry, you mean the common tools are using to analyzing
Yes.
the data? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I think everyone also using that tool. Okay, because I think if you're asking for all the workers working in the office, I think most likely they have using Microsoft Excel. This is the most common tool.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
because
Besides
every time
that,
with a win. Besides that, I think another thing we will have is like because you have data, you have more and more data, right? So that's why Excel cannot handle. So maybe we will
correct.
actually switch to like Python or Power BI. I think I would say Excel, Python, Power BI, and maybe others, which is like something add on to the Excel or something Google Sheets. Most common, I think, is this field.
I see. So I believe the online industry also these are the few most common ones. Is there anything else that you experienced before besides these common ones?
Beside these two, maybe some of them I think they have shared about. I think Dr. Lau before using Orange Orange to do a
Orange,
regression.
yeah, I
Actually,
see.
I tried before. It's
Okay.
quite good in visualizations as well. And
Hmm.
then other than that, I would say seldom because most of the tool I think
Oh, okay.
I would I will put in a Python script rather than
Python script.
my favorite tool. Maybe I prefer actually three of them I have the same ranking. Before
Wow.
as you know I'm actually holding a master degree in econ and finance. So
Yep.
that means I actually have a zero coding knowledge in the beginning stage. So in the beginning stage, I think the Excel is like the big boss for me. But after that, when I
Okay.
keep doing think manually, I think I have to write a script, everything. So when that's why Python come in. So right now the Python is maybe same as an Excel one. After that, to visualizing, they come up with a BI tool, like Power BI, etc. So I think three of them, in fact, are the same same level. Maybe Python or BI, I would say.
Python, yeah. I mean, that question is more like a trap question because I don't think one person will have one single favorite tool of their own, though. So, anyways, but for your level, I think from what you just mentioned, I think is because you're experienced already for so many years. So, I guess all of the tools will come very handy, and so it's very easy for you. But for beginners, what would you tell them for in terms of tools? What tools should they pick up first, or how can they go about the tools for a business analyst?
For the beginners, let's say what task is his try to solve it. Let's say if the business analyst is attacked to the finance, and then this is a totally fresh level, right? Let's say because last time I'm a fresh level in the finance and
Right.
business analyst under the finance department. So in the beginner, I would say maybe you can start with the Excel first. Not because of
Okay.
it's because of like if that department using a lot of the Excel, right, you can start with it to get the understanding. So we can give a quick
Okay.
help to that department. But once you actually understand the whole process about what they did and then how they are doing the task over the time, you shouldn't actually stick with the Excel again. You have to understand about how to help them simplify the task. Like people actually do thing repeat again. So in that case, you can start to pick about coding or BI tool maybe can help them to simplify the task. You can either pick Python or maybe if you like Java, but I think Python much easier. So, and then or maybe you can use the BI tool to help them visualizing the report. BI tool like something free to use one. You can use Google Data Studio or you can use a Power BI. But if a company have a luxury, you can use Tableau. So in that case, you start with Excel for the beginner to understand overall how they did it. After that, once you get a better understanding for the every flow, right, you can start to write a script or write a query to help them to automate all their tasks. So in that case, start with some coding and BI intelligence. So eventually, once you have complete everything, I think they will thanks. They will say they were grateful for you to you. Okay.
All right, so that is a good golden nugget that you have shared to all of our audiences who are listening. Actually, that is a good advice for if you're starting as a total beginner and do not know anything about the data field itself. So start with Excel. Simple, yeah. Okay, so let's get into today's story, juicy part, which is talking about Fishcate. So recently we found out that you started this site, and can you share more about Fishcate to our audiences and also what Fishcate does?
Well, Fishcate, of course, it's not selling a fish cake. Okay, sorry.
Sounds like
when I tell people they think I'm selling food, Thai food, etc. So, but in fact, it's not. Fishcate actually is a search engine actually created by me and my friend, and my friend actually is an expert in online marketing. So when I talk about search engine, of course, you will think about Google, but we are not until that kind of Google level where you can see everything. What Fishcate does is actually we are more focused on collecting all the information about property, car, and jobs from across all the portal in Malaysia, and then we combine everything together. The idea of it actually is like when you are looking for a job or you're looking for property, you can actually stick with one portal or you can go for different portal to look for information. But what we did is like we are thinking of maybe we can collect all information and then put into one so people can view what is the information offered by those portal, and then after that if you want you can click and then contact the persons or apply for the job. I would say it's a maybe search engine or listing aggregator.
Okay, so that would be in short lah. It's a search engine and also listing aggregator. Okay, so you have all different sources coming together as one platform. So what inspires you, I mean, to actually start this Fishcate, and also is it a pain point or is it something, a side hobby you're doing during this time? Yeah.
When I talk about Fishcate, I think if you ask me whether it's a side hobby or pain point, I would say actually it's kind of both. Because actually in the beginning I have mentioned about I'm in fact holding a master degree in economy and finance. But of course, master degree in economy and finance, but this also means I have actually zero knowledge in coding. So when I joined as a business analyst, right, people keep throwing me the report, and then I send, and then I go through a lot of manual process, and then so I tell myself that I need something to improve my skill. So I try to learn different stuff. And then once I reach a level of different stuff, right, I can automate the report. But I'm telling me that whether is this the end or is there something I can do to improve my skill further? So after that, when I met my friend, we come up with a Fishcate idea, and then suddenly something popped out. I realized that this, in fact, is a challenge for me. It's like it become a new challenge for me. Let's say if I can actually succeed on this, right, start with a portal, do everything in the automation way, that's in fact my skill can in fact move to another level again. so lucky is for me is after a few months of try and error, right, this finally come to the market. we are working since like after office hour, we're working every night, and then try to come up with the idea of not just because I know when you talk about automation report and then retrieve the data from the web, this is what I can do before the Fishcate. But for Fishcate, I would say what I try to do is taking the data from different portal in a very fast manner. And then after you pull the data down, you have to in fact write a code to clean everything. And then once you did the cleaning, you have to upload to the site so people can view the data. And for me, I say it's a challenge is because I have a full-time job. So if I start something, right, I try to have a work-life balance. So if I start a portal and then any of the step is I need a manual intervention or human intervention, which means actually after the work I have to spend another 3 or 4 hours on that. But for me, I will feel great is if I can everything automated. Maybe for me, I just look at it and do some review in 1 or 2 minutes, and then that's all. That's all. So I can still have a work-life balance. Actually, quite lucky because thanks to the internet and everyone willing to share the idea. So I keep learning, and eventually, wow, many hours of working at the night or the weekend finally come out.
Since when you guys started working on this? Like when is the really first day?
Kind of quite not remember, but this is like before the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we try to work on that. After that, keep improving.
So I think the end goal is to automate whatever, make it like a total autonomous platform its own.
Yeah, because let's say you're working for one company, and then if you want to start something, you try your best not to actually after working hour, you have to put another few more hour on that. But of course, somebody will do that. But from my point of view is, let's say, if you can have everything automated and then without hiring somebody in, and then you can actually everything done by the coding and need to just a few minute review, that will be very awesome for me. Because I'm thinking of if I can do that outside, right? Actually, for my existing job, I have a way to improve my work further as well. So eventually, it's a work-life balance.
Correct. I mean, you will be a great example of how we can utilize technology to actually help us to get there. Now that we know the backstory of Fishcate, do you want to share with us what's the tech stack behind, or show us demo or showcase something about Fishcate?
So when you fall into the fishcate.com at the homepage, what you can see, of course, what I mentioned just now, you have a property, car, jobs, and then recently I've had some COVID-19 cases, but it's just a demo right now. So if you click on the property website, right, you actually can see is you are moving to the search result page. This is actually, if you look at it, you will think that this is same as what you go for the property portal and then you click on search and then this is what coming out. But what we did is because we have in fact collect all the data. So every time you will see every time a property being published, right, we can actually compare the median price per square foot of this property against the same property in the same area. So when you scroll down, you can see like we actually, because this is not belong to our sources, so we have listed where are the listing coming from. And if someone actually looking at some property, let's say I'm found this property 10% higher, I'm interested at. So if you click on it, right, this in fact will move you to the corresponding property. When I click on it, instead on the Fishcate, it actually move you to the H property, because what we do is we try not to compete with the property portal. What we did is we are helping them to close the deal faster. Because I'm thinking of sometimes people like to look at the information across the portal. So if you combine on it, people can faster look at it and then click on and then close the deal faster. So this is the core value of the Fishcate. And also if you look at car, I think car is also the same, where you can have a car of the make, model, and also the year. So we actually provide, like people offering the car, we can, with the price, we can actually do a medium price comparison. So let's say in that case, if you click on it again, it will move you to the corresponding website. We try to tell people is our assistant is not try to compete, but is to help the people to close the deal fast, to make the whole cycle move faster. Car and property, I think the one I like the most is jobs. Everyone will like the job because I did a research before, right? Even though without Fishcate, if you looking at traffic of the jobs, I think jobs is like almost double or triple the size of property and car. I think it's because people maybe every year or 2-3 years changing a job, but you can't every 2 and 3 years changing a property or buying a car. I think that's one of the reasons. But what I like the most of the job is because, let's say if you are looking at maybe data analyst, let's say you type your job title in here. In fact, will tell you based on your job title you are typing in. They will actually combine all the data and then help you to find out about what is the median price salary of what you are typing. So in that case, when people are browsing for the job, they will know what is the median salary currently offered in the market. So I'm thinking of this to help the people, in fact, know more about the salary currently offered. Because right now, if you apply for the job, you will not actually know what is the current one. Most likely you can get is from the previous maybe salary report. But because I'm a data guy and I think people like the job. That's why in the job part, right, I in fact maybe thanks to Dr. Lau and Edmund also, because he give me some so if you click on this one, right, it will in fact move you to the BI dashboard given by the jobs. Because the BI dashboard, because we know in our online portal or some of the company, the BI is in fact only belong to the BI team or data team. But my idea is, why not the BI tool is applied to everyone? Everyone actually also want to do the analysis. They also want to analyze their trend, everything. But the problem is these tools are not applied to them. So in that case, I put the BI dashboard into the job portal. Let's say if I type in again data analyst, right? This will, you type and then you press yes, it can straight away show you about the salary offer. You can of course choose about you want the median salary, or if you click on the mean salary, it will calculate based on the mean. But sometimes because people got some genius employer keep about 1 million per year, so I will always use the median one. And then in the same time, you can even see what is a data analyst by executive, junior executive, unidentified or fresh NT, what is their salary level over the time. You can even compare what is the data analyst by Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, or Penang. What is the salary they are offering? How far is the difference? So I think in that case, people in fact can use this dashboard. They can actually get a clearer picture of when they apply for some job, what is the salary of offer in that and what is the market. So this is, I think, overall pictures for Fishcate, Fishcate.com. It's like we are listing local listing aggregator, and it's a new listing aggregator. But for our main point is we really hope that the creation of this really can help people to actually find a better information, especially like right now, help people to get a more transparent information. This is a reason why actually my friend and I are so passionate about creating a website, because we want to do something differently maybe.
All right. Wow. I mean, that is a great overview and also explanation. Thanks for that. And yeah, I think it's a very valuable tool when it comes to for people to actually like purchase a car or a house or a building, right? Or real estate, because I think there's not many out there which actually has the comparison between multiple sites or multiple network of all these different properties or cars and I think jobs is the most exciting one, as you mentioned, because until today I think the leading site people will go for is like Glassdoor or all these sites to understand where their compensation could possibly be like when they apply for a job or something. So I think your site is solving a pain point at the same time you challenging yourself and also gain some fulfillment from that, which is awesome totally. So anyways, thanks for sharing and also showcasing Fishcate. Moving on, let's get a bit more not to say general, more zooming into data science. What is behind the site, and also do you see what's the common solutions or applications of data science within the online industry?
A decade ago, maybe the data science is quite a new term for me, but after a while getting more and more involved, this term is getting more and more frequent. And with all the I think all the online industry, definitely not just online industry, even if I meet with other non-online industry, right, they also start to aware of these positions. And with the hiring of data science, what I would say is like when they hire a data scientist, after that a few years later they will come out with something amazing things. And also I commonly see a solution of the data science, like they will come up with something like, maybe I feel amazing right now, so it's like something like image recognitions. Like sometimes people post a picture into the system, and then the system can automatically tell you what is this, whether this is a bicycle, this is a car, or this is a building. And with this kind of image recognition, they also enhance further, or they come up with another thing like fraud detections. Like when something happens, even in the banking industry or in whatever, when some fraud happen, instead of letting a human checking, maybe if you are 100 row of data, a human still can do it, but let's assume about 1 million or 2 million transactions per day. So the fraud detection in fact can be a few seconds or few minutes straight away to tell you who are suspicious activity, and then waiting for people to do. Even with a huge volume, like I also can see some data science can do a very good in customer segmentation and clustering. And then from segmenting all the customer, they can know about how much the potential spend of the customer, and then help to actually increase the sales further. And besides not just the numbering part or segmentation, some even can actually do a text processing. Let's say if you go for some website, right, you might not aware, maybe there's suddenly pop out a chat box robot, and then people actually type in and then tell them, asking the question, and in fact this can answer very well. Imagine this tool, right? What happened is you are hiring people to do this with the checkbox. The people you are hiring, they cannot answer you in 24 hours, but a robot can in fact working without stopping as well. This is like what I commonly see in the data science industry, like what actually they bring to the industry and help them to improve.
All right. I think and you building Fishcate is also one of the applications, right, of data science that you actually use, right? A skill that you actually use by building the site, right?
I would say is, well, I try to apply, and then for me, I would consider myself is still in the beginner level, so I'm keep learning, and hopefully one day I can actually create even better things, because maybe one day I can come up with something more advanced. But right now try to learn from the senior, whoever willing to share and then come up with the
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, we always say keep up the great learning spirit. It's always a journey, learning journey to continue with. Yeah.
Yes.
So in your opinion or your experience, where do you see the entire industry will look like, let's say in the future for AI, machine learning or big data as a whole?
Let's say in maybe 20 years or 30 years ago, all the company are hiring a lot of people actually to help you to do all the tasks. So everyone had to do a manual task on that. But as time moving on with all the internet, with all the knowledge sharing, that's why we come up with like AI, big data, machine learning. So in that case, right, with the AI, actually what I can think of is like automations. Like everything can be automated, and then or with the skill you learn from some simple coding, in fact, can help you to actually process massive of data within few seconds or minutes. But in that case, less and less tasks will be done in the repetitive ways. Because in the future, what I can foresee is more and more tasks that are repetitive that will be replaced by the technology. And then with the big data and machine learning, like imagine like 30 years ago, people are using maybe, I think the Excel at that point of time is about 16,000 rows, 60K. But right now, data you are processing right now is a few million of data. And then last time people might will take many weeks to process the last month data. But right now, you can in fact get up to this point of time. What is the performance up to this point of time? You can in fact process or handle massive amount of data in a timely manner. And then with this kind of data, you can straight away do a prediction of what will happening soon in future, even maybe in the next few days or few weeks, few months or few years. But last time is you can see is they have to in fact collect the data and then put at some platform they are familiar with. After that, they start to do analyzing. Once they come up with the outcome, maybe it's days later or weeks later. In that case, your data is not up to date. In fact, it's like previous month data or even further. I would say industry over the time, we will getting more and more high volume of data. And then with that, it can in fact help you to make a better decisions. This is what I can foresee in the future about the industry. Right now, I think Malaysia also will move into this direction as well.
I mean, it's a gradual effort from everyone, the entire ecosystem, to say, since you have shared the vision and also the future of where all this is heading into, what is your advice for those individuals who want to look into entering this industry, let's say data industry, and also any insights that you can share with our audiences?
For someone who try to, let's say, an entry level, you try to join the industry, like you don't have to be worried about, you don't know about the coding, you don't know about the tool or how. Let's say every time you apply for the job, you might think about you need this kind of specification, you need to know how to use this kind of tool. But sometimes I think what very important is about, instead of how you know how using this tool, right, I will more concerned about is your logical thinkings and also your willingness to learn or explore new methods. Because last time when I help people in the hiring, or actually I train someone, when I try to hire someone, right, my concern is I never think about the skill set, because the skill set actually can be trained. Let's say if you hire someone, you believe this person is in fact a very good in logical thinking, very good in logic, and then he can pick up things fast, right? So when you hire him or her, in fact what you can do is you can quickly pass your skills, slowly train him and her to pick up all the things, and then he can even explore further. If some new entry who want to join this industry, other than showing a logical thinking and also willingness to learn, let's say if you are a few years experience of working, right, sometimes you also can actually share the project you have been involved in your company, and then tell them the project you involve the most, and then tell them what is your role on it, because you can actually show them your logical thinking and then what type of experience you are having and the way of you are communicating with people. So I think this is also very important in business analyst industry.
I see. So those are the few tips based on your experience, 10 years experience right now since you graduated.
If you are hiring from someone entry level, like I think a logical person will not expect you are someone who can know everything, but it's more likely you will give a chance to people to learn. And then what you need to know is the guy is whether he's a logical person and is he able to learn fast. That's the key point. Otherwise, if everyone hiring the experience, I think the entry level will keep losing the job. That's not good.
That is true also in some way.
But sometimes
it's not good for the job market too.
Yeah, correct. That's why people will complain in Malaysia, but can't find a job.
But I think at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, to sum up, to wrap up what you just shared, is more like problem solving. The key is how they solve problems on the job. That the key, the skill. Yeah. Then
Yes,
your
correct.
hard skill, of course, all this you can hone along the way, and someone will able to guide you through.
Because some company business analyst is a new role, but the problem is like the first time I
Okay.
joined the company, right? They say this is a new role. There's no guidance. That's why most of the time I go to the YouTube channel to learn something. The problem is your willingness to explore new things. That's quite important. You can help people
Okay.
from within a few months from nothing to become something.
That is very good input right there. The willingness to learn and also to constantly grow in some ways, not just when you are starting out, but at the middle, wherever, which part of you are at your career. So yeah. So anyways, then that is a very good point there. So lastly, I think before I wrap this up, what is a message that you could give yourself, let's say 10 years ago? What would you tell your younger self?
Maybe I can, instead of doing things, maybe I can focus more on coding or learning more about data science, exploring the tool rather than sticking around with the same tool. Because when the people join the industry, like the common mistake they are making is, I think you are good at something and then people actually say you are good at this, so you are doing a task repeat and repeat again. But actually, in fact, you should explore more, think outside the box, or explore something outside your comfort zone, and then that's why you can go better. So maybe I will tell myself, yeah, you can explore coding. Maybe if I'm a uni time, instead of taking the master degree in econ and finance, I see whether can I take a data science or or know more about it. Because right now, every job we are working, right, if you not just your specialized area like marketing management, if you know a bit about IT skill set, it can actually simplify your task a lot. You can like simplify it to 80 to 90% of it. Or maybe if not coding, maybe I will tell myself in the future what's the next 10 years stock market outcome. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, I think you probably go into crypto and do a forecast there.
You can tell yourself you become a crypto or Bitcoin creator. Just kidding. Otherwise, the whole world will become chaos.
I know, right? So to wrap this session up, Seng Yung, thank you so much for your time to join us on this episode of Lead Stories. And we wish you all the best for Fishcate. Those who are listening in, the audiences who wants to connect with you, where can they go to?
Maybe despite my LinkedIn is not up to date, but they still can send me a message through the LinkedIn.
Okay, awesome.
Just say
awesome. Valuable tips or anything from Seng Yung from this episode, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.